Hey everyone, it's Matthew, and today I got bored, so I decided to make a cake. And let me preface this just by saying that cake decorating is not my thing. I would say that I'm more confident making anything else besides like a full decorated cake, but I just made some chocolate cake with some vanilla buttercream and like a caramel drizzle on the inside. I gave it a crumb coat and put it in the freezer, and then I tried to do this ombre thing with different blue colors, and I was really nervous because I did this one time and it looked so bad.
But when you press your lips on mine and they taste like chocolate cake, there aren't words to describe that anyway. No, I don't say that much, oh no. Always stuck inside my head. But when you walk into the room and my mind forgets everything but you, who would rather be talking instead? Look, I know you'd like to know what's on my mind, but I got these walls up that I tend to hide behind. So when I'm being quiet, like I always do, know that the only thing on my mind is you.
It just looked like trash, and my sister had to help me, but that was in like 5th grade. So I smoothed this out. I tried to make it look really satisfying, but I don't really know if I did. So if you want to like keep watching my cake decorating journey and see how I do in the future, drop a follow, leave a comment. Oh, and I did like this little ring thing around the top. So yeah, here's a bunch of shots of the cake. Oh, and I did a little shell border at the bottom. Everybody asks me what I do with my desserts when I'm done making them, and here's a clip of me driving to bring it to my friend Jack.
Not to exaggerate or anything, but this dessert is guaranteed to change your life. We're making Nutella s'mores bars. In a large bowl, whisk together your flour, salt, and graham cracker crumbs. In another bowl, beat together the butter, sugar, and vanilla extract until light and fluffy. Then you're going to add your dry ingredients and give it a mix until it forms a dough-like consistency. Then press about 2/3 of the dough into an 8x8 lined pan. Now we're going to go in with our Nutella, and you could add as much or as little as you like. Then add some dollops of marshmallow fluff on top of the Nutella, and I like to go in heavy with it. Crumble the remaining dough on top and pop it in the oven to bake at 350 Fahrenheit. Once it cools down and firms up a bit, you can slice into it and it's ready to enjoy. This is one of my favorite desserts to make, so if you try it out, let me know how you like it.
Today we're making edible cookie dough. Now you can enjoy the delicious taste of cookie dough without having to worry about getting sick. Start by adding a stick of butter to a bowl with a 1/2 cup of brown sugar and 3 tablespoons of white sugar. Give it a good mix. Next, add 1.5 tablespoons of milk and a dash of vanilla. Mix it all together. Next, add a cup of flour to a baking tray and bake at 350 for 7 minutes. This is going to ensure that any bacteria in the flour is killed off. Mix it into the batter and then add a pinch of salt and about a 1/2 cup of chocolate chips. Mix it together and you're ready to serve.
So I froze the grapes, but y'all know I have to be extra and make this cotton candy grape sorbet. Clean your grapes, take them off the vine, and then freeze them. They should be rock hard like this. Add them to a blender or a food processor, and then you want to just push down the sides when it gets too clumpy. 2 tablespoons of lime juice, 1 tablespoon of sugar, and blend it till it's nice and smooth. Freeze for a little bit if you want it a little firmer. Scoop it up and eat it. Let me tell y'all, it's been so hot in New York. I just ate this right up. Full recipe in the link in my bio.
Today we're making Hasselback butternut squash. First, we'll need to soften it and peel it. Poke holes, cover with paper towel, and microwave for 5 minutes. Now it should be easier to remove the stem, peel, and cut in half. Use a large spoon to remove the seeds. Turn the squash flat side down and thinly slice, leaving the bottom intact. Salt and oil the bottom and place in a baking dish. Season the top with oil, garlic powder, salt, pepper, and dried herbs. Bake on 400 for 30 minutes. Reapply the seasoning in the oil and boil for another 5 minutes. A bit of a work to peel the butternut squash, but so worth it. Dig in. I live in my kitchen, but you don't have to.
This stack of pancakes is made with only 2 ingredients. These are the healthiest pancakes you'll ever eat, and they're super fun to make. 1 ripe banana. Mash it up, really get your anger out. Make sure it's really nice and smooth. Crack in 2 eggs. Mix it all together. The secret ingredient is a dash of cinnamon. Get your pan, spoon in batter, flip. 2 ingredients. I serve mine with some butter and maple syrup, but this is totally optional. These are the easiest and healthiest pancakes you'll ever make. Let's make these incredible red velvet cookies. And they're stuffed with cream cheese frosting. To start, mix together 1 block or 8 ounces of cream cheese with a half cup of powdered sugar, a little bit of vanilla, and a pinch of salt. Mix it all together. Set that aside and start with a stick of butter in a new bowl. Add a half cup of white sugar and a 1/4 cup of brown sugar. Cream that together until it's well combined, then add a dash of vanilla, 1 egg, and a lot of red food coloring. Mix it up. Once it's combined, add 1 1/4 cups of flour, a 1/4 cup of cocoa powder, and a half teaspoon of baking soda. Once it's combined, add about a half cup of white chocolate chips. I chilled the dough so it would be easier to work with. Roll out a patty of the dough, fill it with cream cheese, and bake at 350 for about 15 minutes. These cookies are insane and delicious.
Okay, I'm going to try to tell you my favorite recipe for chocolate cake in under a minute. 3 sticks of butter, 1 1/2 cups of coffee, melt it, add in 1 cup of chocolate chips and 1 cup of cocoa powder, whisk until it's smooth. Then we're going to add in 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of vanilla, and meanwhile we got 6 eggs, 2 yolks, 2 cups of sugar, whisk until it's smooth. Then we're going to slowly add in the chocolate portion until it's all combined. Then we're going to add in 2 cups of all-purpose flour, get that into a sheet pan lined with parchment, bake at 350 for about 25 minutes until a toothpick comes out clean. Meanwhile, let's make the frosting. 3 sticks of softened butter, whisk it up with 3 cups of confectioner's sugar, and then we're going to add in 12 ounces of dark chocolate chips that were melted and cooled till it's light and fluffy. Spread it all over your cooled cake, and there you go.
These melted snowman cookies are too easy and too festive not to make this winter. Perfect for the holidays. Start by creaming together 2 sticks of butter and 1 1/2 cups of sugar. Once it's super nice and fluffy, go ahead and crack in 1 egg and add a teaspoon of vanilla and mix. Add in 2 3/4 cups of flour, a teaspoon of baking soda, and a half teaspoon of baking powder. Don't forget about a half teaspoon of salt. Stir the ingredients until a beautiful dough forms and portion the dough out and bake at 350 for about 8 to 10 minutes. The frosting is so easy to make. It's just 3 cups of powdered sugar and 4 tablespoons of milk. Don't forget a dash of vanilla. Once it's smooth, it's time to decorate. Pipe on a layer of the frosting on the cookie. It doesn't have to be this thick. Place a marshmallow in the center, an orange sprinkle for the nose, 2 little candies for the buttons, and some black frosting for the eyes, the mouth, and the arms. There we have the most festive sugar cookies ever. Last year, I used to bring muffins to school every Monday and call it Muffin Monday, and these were my favorite muffins to make. These bakery-style chocolate chunk muffins were by far everybody's favorite. And they're so easy to make. Start off by mixing 3 cups of flour, 3 teaspoons of baking powder, a 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda, a pinch of salt, a half teaspoon of cinnamon, and whisk. Set that bowl aside, and in another bowl, mix together 1/3 cup of melted butter, 1/3 cup of vegetable oil, 2 eggs, a big old cup of sugar, 1/3 cup of sour cream or yogurt, and a whole cup of milk. Don't forget a generous amount of vanilla. Mix the dry and wet ingredients together until a beautiful batter forms, and add 1 1/2 cups of chocolate chips. Fill muffin tins 3/4 of the way full and top with coarse sugar if you want that bakery-style top. Bake at 425 for 5 minutes, then 350 for 15 minutes. There we have the best muffins ever. These make my junior year a little bit sweeter. There's literally nothing better than a lava cake, and this one could not be easier to make. 2 ounces of chocolate and break it up. Plop it into a bowl along with a full stick of butter. Yeah, obviously it's not healthy. Okay, place that bowl onto a pot of boiling water and stir until it's super melted and creamy. While that's cooling, crack 2 eggs into a bowl along with 2 egg yolks. Mix that on high speed until it's super light and fluffy. Don't forget a 1/4 cup of sugar. Once that's combined, add in the chocolate mixture and fold until it's smooth. Lastly, add 2 tablespoons of flour and stir it together. Okay, that was easy. Place it into a greased ramekin and bake it 450 for about 6 to 8 minutes. Don't forget to top with some powdered sugar and cut into that baby. Oh my gosh, I cannot express how delicious this is. It's the perfect dessert. Fudgy brownies with that crinkly crust on top are the best. And they're so easy to make. Stay tuned for the secret ingredient. Start off by adding 1 stick of butter and 6 ounces of semi-sweet chocolate to a bowl. Place over a pot of boiling water and stir until melted. Yeah. Can we just take a moment to appreciate that? Once it's nice and melty, add in a half cup of brown sugar and a half cup of white sugar. You have to do this while the chocolate is still hot, because when the sugar melts, that's what makes the crust. Stir until smooth. Whisk in 2 eggs plus 1 egg yolk. And a dash of vanilla. Mix, mix, mix. Add in 3/4 cups of flour, a 1/4 cup of cocoa, and a pinch of salt. Okay, now here's the secret ingredient. A half teaspoon of espresso powder. This makes them so chocolatey. Mix, then add 1 cup of chocolate chips. Fill a greased square tray and bake at 350 for about 30 minutes. You're gonna see that incredible crinkly top. Oh my gosh. Now it's time to serve them up. These are insane.